Coachella Valley, and welcome to Live with Your Chamber. I'm your host, Katie Stice, CEO at the amazing Rancho Mirage Chamber of Commerce. And listen, we have been doing this video series now for over 2 years, and it's been a great pleasure to bring you just the stories of our local business owners, nonprofits, dignitaries, telling their stories, talking a little bit about how they got started, and introducing them to you, our community. So let's go ahead and bring out, we actually have two guests today. Annie Blaylock is our Director of Business Development, and she's going to be joining us as well. Most of you, I think, have already met Annie, but Annie, say hi to everybody.
Hello. How's it going, team? Woo!
An amazing addition to our team. We're just thrilled, and someone who's really out in the community meeting folks. And I'd have to say that Annie is a super fan of our guest today. We'll bring in Chantel now. Chantel is owner of Performance Bodyworks. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. We're happy to have you. And as we were saying, Annie knows you pretty well, and she's your biggest fan. But we want to jump into some of the expertise that you have. So tell us about, I'm going to say it wrong, fascial stretch therapy. Tell us what.
So fascial stretch therapy is a new up-and-coming therapy. It's a table-based stretch that works with your body's neurological systems and full fascial nets to realign with without any pain or any cracking, even though your body might naturally align itself in that way. But it's a whole new different method on how to alleviate chronic pain and really fix the issues that happen after a prolonged use or lack of use, which we have a tendency of with this last COVID and everything. A lot of people are all out of whack. So we are happy to help in any way we can.
I could not agree more also about, I feel like right now is the time when maybe someone had something health-wise going on, and maybe the stress of COVID brought things out. So It's a great time for people to come see folks like you just to really align their health and wellness goals completely. So a part of this stretch therapy, is it painful?
It's not. And that's kind of the hardest part, because people see what we do. And especially if they see somebody on the table that has a lot of mobility, they're like, oh my God, I can't do that. Mm-hmm. But the difference is we feel the body as we're moving, and we're going to push to whatever limit you're capable of doing. So there is no pain. I always tell everybody, I'm always looking for a little uncomfortable. I call it the hurt so good feeling. You know what I mean? Okay. But it's never painful, because pain actually can decrease your flexibility long-term, because that's actually micro ripping your body and your muscles. So we are going just to that point of a little uncomfortable, but it feels so amazing.
And how often do you recommend someone come? Does it depend on what their goals are, or how do you determine that?
It depends on the person. Okay. If someone comes in with some trauma, mm-hmm. then and I feel this trauma, and I'm just like, okay, we really got to dig in deep. So they're going to have a different method of therapy than somebody that comes in and just like, I really want to feel good today. Yeah. And then where there's no problems there, we're just kind of realigning and just like having a good therapeutic session. Yeah. Then we also have people who are like athletes.
Okay.
We have a lot of different athletes, anywhere from Olympians to just people who go to the gym a lot and overwork their muscles a bit, and they're going to have a whole different set of therapy. So it really just kind of depends.
Got it. What about, I think we talked a little bit about who should try it, but are there specific people out there maybe listening who, they might be hearing this for the first time, who aren't sure? Is there something specific you would want them to know about this?
So the people who get the most out of it, like that walk away and they're like on a cloud, are the people who have chronic low back pain.
Okay.
Who have chronic hip pain.
Okay.
Who have plantar fasciitis.
Okay.
Who has neck pain. Those chronic areas that we all have a tendency of going through, these like chapters where, these chapters of I have low back pain, or my neck is really bothering me, or something. Then they walk out and they're like, oh, like all I needed was a stretch. because again, I'm not just stretching your lower back. Most lower backs, that is a symptom, not the problem. That's the difference between most places, and that'll just kind of go in and like, a lot of medical providers, they have a tendency of just, I'm going to treat the lower back. Well, in actuality, is it really the lower back? Right. Or is it your glutes? Or is it your hips? Or is it something in the front? There's a problem happening that's causing your lower back to hurt. Right. And that's where we come in, because we actually go in and we're not just all about the spot that you say.
Right.
So a lot of people come in and they get confused because they're like, I told you my shoulder hurt. Yeah. I'm like, right. But your shoulder is hurting because it's pulling down and it's over here. It's actually, I'll literally have someone, or like a lower back, and I'm like, I stretch their calves, and they're like, oh, I didn't know their calves hurt. So it hurts their lower back.
That's remarkable.
There's so many connections in the body. And that's kind of like our forte. I call it, that's why I have so much passion for my job. I call it it's like an anatomical puzzle.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's really fun for me, because I can come in and be like, teach people the inner workings of their own body.
And I think that's what Annie loved about her visits with you is, she comes in and her eyes are like this, and she's like, it's not stretching. It's so much more than that. Like it's not what you think. And that's why she was excited to have you on today to share, because she's like, until someone really dives in and learns more about how this works and how the body so well, making the connections, she was really excited to share. Annie, do you have any questions?
Well, I think that's the key thing that you just said. It's all connected. Yeah. Everything's connected. And if we don't, if we're not dealing with the issue, we're not going to be able to fix the problem. So I feel like, Chantel, you're like the expert. It's like almost like you have X-ray vision, but with hands, you're feeling around and you're like, I found it.
Now, what about cupping? Talk to us about what cupping does, and also share if cupping hurts, because I've never experienced that myself.
So cupping is something I use as a tool for stretch therapy. I very rarely have people come in and just want cupping. I don't really offer that. What I do is I use that as a tool to help calm your nervous system a little bit more. Okay. So cupping can be uncomfortable. Okay. I wouldn't necessarily call it painful, but it's uncomfortable. Okay. What happens is when you first suction the tissue, your neurological systems are going to fire very quickly, and they're going to it's going to feel like burning or tingling. It can feel a little intense at first. Okay. But the thing that people get a little surprised by is after about 30-ish seconds, your neurosystem's go into shock. Okay. So what we're doing is shocking your nervous system. And by doing that painful-ish type of feeling that you're feeling will just dull out. Okay. What happens at that point is the tissue below it gets forcefully relaxed. It just has to kind of shut off because those neurosystems are in shock. Right. Okay. At the same time, we're breaking up what's called adhesions, which is damaged tissue from overuse, lack of use, trauma. There's a lot of different reasons that happens. So damaged tissue will get broken up very easily. And then what happens is within about a week, when those spots, because a lot of people see the people in the gym or whatever, and they have the big circles on their backs. Mm-hmm. When those start going down, that's your body's healing. So those capillaries are healing and everything. And when that new healthy tissue gets reborn, if you would, then that blood flow and all of the good properties of blood gets now delivered to that space where before it was not getting delivered in the proper way. So now you actually have the ability to heal and utilize that muscle even better.
And where does cupping usually happen? I'd have to say I typically will see the circles, on the back or shoulder area. Is that the only place cupping happens, or other places?
No. So in the back and the shoulders is atypical because you utilize your back in so many ways. So people get a lot of benefits from that area. Okay. But I cup most places. I mean, I use it for the feet, for the legs, especially for like athletes and stuff. We'll get a lot into like the legs, and that way really activate your quads or your hamstrings or whatever they're kind of like lacking on.
Sure.
So it really kind of just depends what the issue is. We can cup most places.
Wow. It's fascinating. Well, obviously you have been doing this for a long time. This is your forte. You're an expert in this field. Tell us a little bit about your educational background.
I got my first certification as a personal trainer on my free time in Afghanistan in 2012. Okay. When you're deployed, there's not a lot to do outside of your missions. Mm-hmm. So there were days I was at the gym for like 3 or 4 hours because like, what else do I have?
Yeah.
And people started coming up to me in the gym and were like, will you train me? And I'm like, I barely know what I'm doing, I'm just kind of wasting my time here. But it actually gave me a little bit of incentive on like, it was a lot of fun helping others get to their goals, so they were just like, well, can I just work out with you? So anyways, it kind of grew from there. I got out of the military about a year after I got back from Afghanistan. And within about 5 years, I became master certified. So with my key component into exercise therapy, rehabilitation, corrective exercise, mostly because I came to this valley. So I realized my dynamic pretty quickly and realized that we have a little bit of an older clientele, and a lot of what they need is not just like, I'm going to kill you in the gym. And they need like help them to feel better and fix whatever ailments they're having. Wow. So after a certain point, in the middle of all that, I got a degree in kinesiology as well. So I have that degree as well.
Yeah.
And it took about, I don't know, six years or so of doing that, where I realized people needed mobility more than they needed the exercise therapy.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, they need both. Mm-hmm. But I was looking at a lot of my clients and I'm like, they need mobility. How do I do this? Right. So I thought back to my first personal training gig, and a director there stretched me, was a fascial stretch therapist. Mm-hmm. And a little background, I got injured when I was in Afghanistan. So at the time I had a really bad blown left shoulder. And when she went to stretch my shoulder, I was like, absolutely not. You're not touching it. Like I was so protective of it.
Sure.
But when she stretched it and I walked away, I had no pain for like 2 weeks. And I was like, what did you do to that? Because that was amazing. I feel so good.
Right.
So when I got to that point in my career where I was like, they need mobility, they need more than what I can offer, I went and got my level 1 and then super quickly fell in love with it. And here I am a few years later. I'm master certified in that. I have my level 3 now. Mm-hmm. And I just keep building, and now I'm just, my goal is just like, how many people can I show this to? Because it's just amazing.
Well, I am just blown away. And thank you for your service in the military as well. What did you do in the military?
Oh, it was an honor. It really was an honor to serve. I was a military police officer. Oh, wow. I got out as a sergeant. I did the 10 months in Afghanistan. So.
Wow. Well, thank you very much for that. And thanks for coming on and sharing, who you are and what you do. I am blown away. And now I understand more of why every time Annie runs into you, she comes back to the office, like excited. And I'm looking forward to coming and learning more and having you treat me and help me with pain pieces and making sure I'm at the top of my game, health and wellness wise too, on this journey. Tell us a little bit about some discounts that you offer as well.
We very proudly offer discounts to veterans, of course, but also first responders. And something I always hate about the discounts for first responders is most often like nurses get ignored. So nurses are most definitely involved. And any other first responder. And we also give discounts for teachers. So they're out there doing, in all honesty, a job I would never do and getting paid way too less. So hopefully I can give a little bit back to them as well.
That's awesome. I love that. Annie, is there anything else you wanted to check in on with?
So just to ask, what is your biggest challenge out there trying to help the community know the difference between some of the other stretch places that are recently popping up versus what you do, and what's the big difference?
Well, there's a lot of differences, really. The relationships that we build, it's a different quality, because I am not just there to stretch somebody or have them get massages from one of my massage therapists. I'm there to legitimately fix that person in every way I can. And sometimes the way I can is to give them to somebody else. Mm-hmm. And that's not to say that it's because something that I can't do or anything. It's like, we all have a different skill. There is so many different types of therapies, and I will never let my ego get in my way and be like, oh no, I can't do that. I'll be the first one to try to be like, you know what, this doesn't seem to be working. And I will talk to their doctors. I will talk to their physical therapists. I will talk to their chiropractors. I will work one-on-one with every medical provider they have. And if need be, I'll pass them to somebody who I think would maybe be a little bit more beneficial. Maybe stretch therapy is not working, and what they really need is like active release. Mm-hmm. Or what they need is a chiropractor, or what they need is something a little bit more than what I'm able to do. So just know that like, that is never going to be an issue. Like, we are here to help you in whatever way we can. Another thing about like the actual physical act that we do as far as stretching is, there's a lot of different franchises and stuff coming up and things like that. And, some things that I've noticed, when I've, made appointments, because of course I want to know what else is out there. You know, I want to know all the different types of therapies. How are other people doing? I want to give me tips on how I can be better, or maybe I can tips how you can be better. And one thing I know that myself and my practitioners are really good at is we feel the body. Even though we're constantly asking for communication, like if something hurts, because we never want it to be painful, we're not going to ask you every 3 seconds, give me an, you know, does this hurt? 5? Is it 1 through 10? Does this hurt? Like, no, you'll be incredibly surprised to feel how we feel your body and how we actually unlock things that you didn't think was possible. So there's just a different level to the therapy that we offer.
Wow, that's impressive. And now I can see why our chamber and our mission really aligns with your business and how you do business. There's a lot of synergy there in how we like to work and serve our community together. So for everyone who's out there watching, Chantel's information is on the screen, the website, performancebodyworksinc.com. Phone number is on the screen as well. Reach out, learn more. I will be there getting some stretch therapy to help with a little bit of my arthritis. But just again, with that overall health and wellness journey, it's a great opportunity to come out and learn from some of our experts and really just feel better at the end of the day. That's what it's about, and going to the experts to do so. So Chantel, thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thanks for all you do. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you.
And Annie, thanks for bringing in amazing new members that do incredible work for the community. I know you're a huge fan of our girl, Chantel.
I'm waiting for my turn. It's coming. I can't wait.
I know you are. And thanks for popping in and joining us on these interviews, and promise to come back and do some more with the amazing members that you're bringing into the chamber.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll see you soon, friend.
Bye-bye.
And thanks to all of you for joining us today. Really appreciate it. We're having a great time helping new businesses. We're focused on the future, and we want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors, KESQ News Channel 3 and CBS Local 2, for supporting local businesses, supporting the Chamber of Commerce as well. As usual, if there's anything that we can do to support you professionally, your business, your nonprofit, that's what your Chamber of Commerce is here for. We're kind of in a cool position because we work right with businesses, the community, and government pillars as well. And so it's a great chance to just connect the community in any way that we can. Take care of yourselves and each other. See you soon.